beard, I usually shave it off by now. This is a seasonal thing for me. I grow this around Christmas time, and I go to malls dressed as Jesus. And I walk around the mall just going like this. No, this was not what it was supposed to be, people. But that's not the funny part. The funny part is if there's a Santa at the mall, I'll walk right up to him and I'll say, "You're just a clown at my birthday party." Now look, I don't want to mock the myths that define some of you, but let's be honest, the reason that Jesus is so popular, just on a celebrity level, is that he died at the peak of his career. He was young, hot, well-spoken from all accounts. I really think it would have been different had he lived longer. Say, had he gotten old enough to get bitter. Hear me out, folks. Picture there's a third testament to the Bible, and at this point, Jesus is in his 50s. He's got one apostle left. And the book opens with him knee-deep in water saying, "I used to be able to do this." It's a different story for Jesus. The apostle going, "Come on, don't yell at the water, Jesus. Come on in. It's not your day. Please, yes, you're still God. Please, people are gathering for the wrong reason, Jesus. Come on. Can we go to the deli? We'll go to the deli, have one of those sandwiches they named after you. Come on, let's go get a couple of God Almighties. Come on, I got your cake. Let's do this." Now look, again, I just choose not to believe in God. I choose to go through life filled with fear, panic, and dread, because I think that's more realistic. I think it's more exciting. I think it's a more honest place. And I'm not knocking all Christians. I don't want to knock Christians. I'm not here to knock Christians, but I will knock Christians that want to teach creationism in biology class, because that's crazy. That's ridiculous. That's imposing your mythic understanding of things onto the kids. It's retarding the youths. I'm very happy that it hasn't gotten through. In Pennsylvania, it didn't go through. And the thing about creationists are, when you argue with them, you will become the crazy, angry, godless person that they think you are. Because they're sitting there saying, evolution is just a theory, and within seconds you'll be going, "No, it's science, what's the matter with you?" And they'll be like, "Ooh, look at the scary heathen." But that's the whole thing. They're always like, evolution's only a theory. And I'm thinking to myself, well, thank God gravity's a law. Because in order to disprove that, you'd have to be able to fly. But that doesn't happen until after you die, right? If you're good. Am I understanding this correctly? And then they always say things like, well, it's so complicated. Everything's so complicated, which means that there has to be a divine, an intelligent designer. Now, am I wrong? Or is that sort of like saying, I don't understand it. It must be magic. Look, if there's an intelligent designer, human beings are the Pt2 off of that assembly line. We're the ones that got away from God, and he said, "Oh, crap, I've made too many. Now there's going to be trouble." Okay. You know, I judge people. I tend to have a problem with that. I tend to think I know what people are thinking. Like, I was doing a show a few weeks ago. I was in San Francisco, and there was some big biker guy sitting right up front. And I thought he was just, everyone else was laughing, but he was just sitting there giving me the stink eye. He's just a huge biker guy, had long hair, like leather pants, leather jacket. He had teardrop tattoos on his eye, which means what, he killed someone in prison. He had the girlfriend with the sort of permanent "don't hit me" face. And I literally thought that he was sitting there through my entire show just looking at me going, "You suck. You're probably a Jew. I'm going to kick your ass." That's what I thought he was thinking the entire show. So I keep doing the show, and everyone's laughing. I look over at him, Jew, I'm going to kick your ass. This went on for the entire show. And so after the show, he probably could kick my ass. So after the show, I'm standing in back. I'm feeling kind of strong. I got a couple other guys with me. People are filing out, and this guy walks right up to me and stands me off like he's going to kick my ass. And I didn't know what to do, so I said, "So, did you like the show, man?" He goes, "Yeah, man, you're really funny, dude. It's a great show." So I'm like, oh, no way. Because that means the guy who was saying, "You suck, Jew, I'm going to kick your ass," lives in my head, all right? And he's always there. I can just put him on anybody. And that's all right. That guy probably could kick my ass. I'm not a pussy, all right? But I'm right on the pussy cusp, In some situations, if I'm standing on stage, very courageous. I'll speak my mind, I'll shout you down. But if someone was to come right up to me and go, "I'm going to kick your ass," I'd have to say, "No, you're not, because I'm leaving. I'm taking off now." And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in being a coward. The coward lives to run away another day. Do you understand? On a biological level, we're animals. Okay, we have two choices. fight or flight. And the only objective is to get home, to have sex, to have more kids. That's the objective biologically. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm a flyer. I come from a long line of flyers. My dad was a flyer. My grandfather was a pussy. The trick of it is you just have to find a woman who, when you come home and say, honey, guess what? I ran away again today. She says, come here and have sex with me, you big pussy, and let's have a bunch of pussy kids so they can go to good schools and actually run businesses. That's how it works. Anyways, but this guy, you ever ask yourself, what kind of man am I? You know, what am I made out of? You know, who am I inside? What is it that makes me? Well, I figured out a way you can do that. You just got to ask yourself, take a minute, meditate a little bit, and ask yourself, okay, and be honest with yourself. Who would I be in prison? And be honest with yourself. You know, would I be, would I be that guy that's sort of like, shut up, take it, be a bitch like a man, quit crying? Would I be that guy? I don't know. I don't know if I'd be that guy. I mean, I'm not even that much of a top with my wife on a good night. Would I be the guy that's sort of like, okay, I'll wear it, don't hit me, just don't hit me? Would I be that guy? I don't know. I think I might be that guy. Or would I be the guy who's like, hey, look, you need cigarettes, drugs, whatever you need, fellas. You want to hear a joke? Just stay out of my ass, okay? Look, I'm dancing. I'd like to think I'd be that guy. The negotiator, the entertainer, the diplomat, the salesman. But I got a feeling I'd be the second guy. And I think most people would. Most guys, especially if you've never been to prison before. Because honestly, I think all men have an inner girl. You just don't want to let her. You don't want her to come out at the wrong reason. At the wrong time. I know I have an inner girl. Her name's Jill. I know her name's Jill. She's a bitch. And I'm starting to think she has an eating disorder. And the only problem, I don't usually have any problems with Jill. The only problem I ever have is every once in a while, the guy who's up in my head saying, I'm going to kick your ass, Jew, you suck, says, I'm going to rape Jill. And I don't know what to do. Do I step in? What do you do when your inner biker's raping your inner girl? Do you stop it? Do you masturbate? Can anyone help me with these things? What, no one relates to this?